Billionaire trader and investor Paul Tudor Jones is now very bullish on Bitcoin. Sui is integrating with Google, and whale activity is surging on these altcoins. This is your Altcoin Buzz News. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, Altcoin Buzz IO, and as always, it's not financial advice. We wish you the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Today we're starting off with Bitcoin and the ETF outflows, which have ended at the 2-week bull market amid a Bitcoin sideways price action. So Bitcoin's been going down and slightly sideways for the past few days, and Bitcoin institutional investors have paused their latest buying spree of Bitcoin as it consolidates. BlackRock, though, is always still buying. Everyone else, they're like, no, we're going to wait and see what happens. So Bitcoin's price action has already taken a toll on institutional demand as Bitcoin hovers within 10% of all-time highs. The inflows flipped negative yesterday on the 22nd with a down $79.1 million for the day. Now, the daily red came courtesy of the ETF of ARK21 shares, which had $134 million in outflows. The other products saw either inflows or no activity. BlackRock still had $43 billion in inflows. Fidelity's Bitcoin had 8.8. So it was really just ARK Invest. They were just scared yesterday. Anyone in ARK Invest had 134 million that they dumped yesterday. So moving on from that, though, the Ki Young Ju, the co-founder of on-chain analytics platform CryptoQuant, revealed on October 18th that institutional ETF inflow is now about 20%. So thanks to spot ETF inflows, 1,179 institutions have joined Bitcoin's cap table this year. And in addition to domestic demand, European investors have also allocated over $100 million to the US product year to date. So last week, net inflows crossed the $20 billion milestone for the first time, with the assets under management hitting a record $65 billion. And in a recent research published in conjunction with the largest US exchange, Coinbase, on-chain analytics firm Glassnode called the ETF success one of the biggest stories in the market. In Q3, US-based Bitcoin ETFs saw over $5 billion in net inflows, and I don't think that's going to stop now in Q4. Now, coming over to Bitcoin, it's pretty much doing what we were expecting. It's just never nice when we get these huge red candle days. But it's pretty much doing what we expected. We wanted to consolidate around here. It's pretty much come down to this level. If this is where it stops and just immediately reverses, that would be amazing. But I don't doubt we see a little bit of a consolidation maybe today, maybe tomorrow, and then by Friday, hopefully we're heading up. But yeah, it is looking like this is the area that we should bounce from. It's more of just a waiting game at this point. We're just waiting for a continued bounce. If it breaks under here and goes to 64 and then holds, still fine, not ideal. But once it breaks under here, not looking too good. So we're going to watch for that over the coming day. Next, we also have Paul Tudor Jones, a billionaire trader and investor, says all roads lead to inflation, and he's long Bitcoin and gold. I actually have a clip here, which I wanted to show you. I'll play right now.
Given all of the things you're saying, are you off buying gold and Bitcoin and
I think all roads lead to inflation. We're going to end up, but does all roads lead to inflation, therefore gold is a good investment? Is Bitcoin a good investment to you? I'm long gold. I'm long Bitcoin. I think commodities are so ridiculously underowned. So I'm long commodities. I think most young people find their inflation hedges via the NASDAQ. That's also been great. It's probably some combination. I probably have some basket of gold, Bitcoin, commodities, and NASDAQ, something like that. And I would own zero fixed income.
So Paul is very bullish on Bitcoin and gold, which is great to hear that he is on our side now. Moving on, the Sui blockchain is integrated with Google Cloud via ZetaBlock. So Sui has announced a new integration with Google Cloud facilitated by ZetaBlock, and the partnership is going to allow developers to access real-time blockchain data through Google Cloud's PubSub service, which aims to enable innovative applications such as AI-powered fraud detection and high-speed gaming transactions. So this is huge for Sui. So layer 1 blockchains like Sui are independent networks that process and validate transactions directly. And this latest development allows Sui's blockchain data to be easily accessed through Google Cloud, providing developers with the tools to create more responsive and accurate applications. And through ZetaBlock's integration, developers can receive live data from the Sui blockchain in real time, which is particularly useful for AI applications requiring constant access to fresh data to function effectively. And for instance, AI models designed for fraud detection can instantly flag suspicious transactions as they happen instead of relying on historical data, which is common in traditional systems. The integration could also revolutionize online gaming, as real-time data from blockchain could allow games to adjust dynamically based on player actions or blockchain events, creating more immersive experiences. And we know that Sui is trying to get into blockchain gaming as well, with their Sui Play OX1, which is coming out next year. So big things for Sui. Now, Sui is actually Sui is one that we expected there to be a bit of a correction on, and we've seen a little bit of it. Right now, it seems like there's a kind of a buyback here, which is support right now. So you'd expect a buyback. I was expecting a bit of a deeper correction by this point to come down to 144 after this massive run up, and then Aptos, taking the wind from the Sui, as well as Say. So I expected this to be coming down a little bit lower than it is right now. If Bitcoin continues to just go up right now from here, Sui might not go as low as I expected, but it kind of depends on Bitcoin. Sui has been doing very well and showing a lot of strength relative to the rest of the market. So it's possible it doesn't come quite as low as 145 now that we've seen Bitcoin come down to support. So we're gonna have to kind of play this in conjunction, see where Bitcoin is in comparison to Sui. So because if Bitcoin comes down to $64,000, this is very possible. This could happen. If it hovers around 66,000, it might be something like this before we go back up. So we have to kind of watch and see what Bitcoin does. But I was actually expecting a bigger correction than we've had so far. But we have corrected, about almost at the peak 20% from the top. So still a little bit of a correction. SeedWorld is one of the leading launchpads in the industry, and many of you are familiar with it already. And as many of you may know, they have a specialty in gaming. Their S NFTs allow you to stake and farm, as well as get benefits from both their IDOs and their NFT marketplaces. And now their S NFTs allow you early access to SeedWorld's SeedWorld token. SeedWorld is where gaming and user-generated content meet. Imagine a world where you can build part of a game section that everyone gets to play. It's the ultimate in community-based gaming. And if you're already on SeedWorld and hold an SNFT, then there's a bonus for you. On October 23rd, SeedWorld will have the TGE for its SeedWorld token. SeedWorld supporters also get an extra benefit. Up to 18% of the total supply of SeedWorld is set aside just for SNFT holders. You can burn SNFT at a 1-to-1 ratio to get your SeedWorld token, and only SNFT holders can do this. Everyone else who wants to get a piece of the action will have to follow SeedWorld's X account to find out where SeedWorld will be available. And Meta Alchemist, the founder of SeedWorld and SeedWorld, writes the biggest multi-chain launch you've ever seen. 6 chains, 6 dexes, the average market cap of UGC Worlds and Web3 is 800 million. SeedWorld market cap begins at less than 4 million, and the biggest market cap of UGC Worlds and Web2 is 26 billion, ready for a legendary launch. So get the latest updates on SeedWorld's X account with the link down below. So moving on, we have these 10 altcoins are seeing massive whale activity. So this post by Santiment shared several altcoins. Several altcoins have seen a dramatic increase in whale activity this week, according to data from Santiment. Now, in a post, they said that these 10 digital assets, which include ApeCoin, SushiSwap, Treasure DAO, which is Magic, Hollow, API3, Frax Finance, our Aragon Project, AOS Network, Metis Layer 2, and Shintai Network, have all seen a lot of whale activity. They said, consider it likely that any coin seeing 5x their normal whale transactions in a given week are much more likely to see major price swings that are opposite to the recent trends. Now, it doesn't always mean that it's going up. Whale activity can also mean that they're dumping. So it doesn't always have to mean that they're going up. And I'm actually going to chart out some of these in a second. So if the price of that coin is underperforming the markets and whale transactions spike, it's a sign that the coin's price is much more likely to rise. If the price of the coin is outperforming the markets and whale transactions spike, it's likely that the coin's price is much more likely to drop, which we're actually going to see. So I took a couple of those. So first we have Ape, and this is one we charted out earlier this week. And we said this is probably going to happen. If it falls beneath this line, which it did, it's going to head down. And we've seen that now. So it has accepted back into this range, which is not good. Ape is most likely, if it's going to consolidate, it's going to be somewhere around here. If it's going to, hold there. So Ape's not looking too good. And whale activity in this case just means that whales are probably dumping and not very ideal. So we actually thought this might happen, and it did happen. So it's hopefully going to consolidate between $1.10 and $1.35. And it's not a trade I would really want to take until it maybe comes back above here and starts consolidating. So that's Ape. So the whales are just selling Ape. Magic, well, this is fun. This is the chart of Magic. This is not a great chart. So this is the chart of Magic, and whales are moving it, and you could have fooled me. So this is the chart of Magic, and yeah, it looks like it was just a giant spike up, maybe to draw in some liquidity for other people to join in the buying, and then they just sold it off immediately. So it's not a great chart in that sense. This isn't something you want to see after a big spike. Same thing pretty much with Sui. Remember how I talk about the expansion candle of, the breakout? You don't want to see it being retraced, and it completely retraced in the matter of, how long is this? 3 days. 3 days, a giant spike, immediately retraced. So the whales might have been fishing to get more exit liquidity here. Not sure, but not amazing. Same thing with Hollow. Huge spike, pretty much immediately retraced the entire thing within a couple of days. And API 3. It's almost like their same whales are like doing the same thing across all of these. So it's very possible that the cabal of crypto is spiking these. Maybe there's low liquidity across these coins or something like that. So it's easy to pump them really hard, and then they just dumped them right back down. So you want to be careful when you're watching coins that have increased whale activity, because sometimes it could just be an exit pump, which it seems to be in this case. So, and lastly, EOS. If there was a pump, I mean, I don't really see it. Maybe it was just the dump. Maybe they're just dumping EOS. So it's not looking that great right now. If EOS is going to come down, I expect us to probably see 39 before it continues back up, somewhere like that. So yeah, these coins, the whale activity in this case was probably just them dumping. So that's the whale coins for today. And moving on, Radium beats Ethereum in 24-hour revenue fees. So Solana's base Radium has clocked $3.4 million in fee revenue on October 21st versus the $3.35 million, very close, for Ethereum, according to DeFi Llama. So on October 21st, the decentralized exchange Radium beat the Ethereum network in 24-hour revenue fee. Radium, which is hosted on Solana blockchain, clocked $3.4 million. And Ethereum is still recovering from a sharp drop-off in revenue after the network's March Dencun upgrade cut transaction fees by about 95%. So, that was amazing for, the people paying the fees, not so much the DEXs who are making money from the fees. So Ethereum still beats other blockchains like Solana, but has periodically fallen behind such protocols such as Radium, which is still, doing a lot of the volume, especially with Pump Fund, which I think we're going to get to in a second. Once coins leave Pump Fund, they go onto Radium. So a lot of the Sol meme coins that are coming off of Pump Fund then get listed on Radium, and then they continue to do insane volume. Now, on July 29th, Solana meme creation Pump Fund surpassed Ethereum in 24-hour revenue. And this was not the first time Pump Fund's revenue eclipsed Ethereum's. So Pump Fund is pretty much leading all of the revenue for Solana. Anytime something, Pump Fund, I should say, and meme coins on Radium. So it's not surprising that certain days, Ethereum has less revenue and a lot more revenue comes to Solana. But also, Matthew Siegel, Venix head of digital research, said that since launching in 2015, Ethereum has generated $3 billion in transaction fees denominated in Ether. And other than Ether's value accrual mechanisms, including burning or permanently removing from circulation, a portion of the transaction fees are remitted new Ether reward stakers who post ETH as collateral to secure the network. So Siegel expects Ethereum's network to generate up to $66 billion in annual free cash flow by 2030, driving spot ETH's price as high as $22,000 per token. I hope we see 10,000 in the next year. 22,000 by 2030 would be great. But I'm also not a big spot holder of Ethereum. It's just very much underperform this cycle, much more into Sol. But he estimates that his estimate is based on anticipated value accrual to ETH holders as Ethereum processes a growing proportion of the world's transactions. Hopefully, Ethereum can make a comeback. The thing with crypto is, price leads the tech. So if the price is going up, then the tech is getting better. So we'll have to see about that with Ethereum. But overall, Sol is looking very strong and a lot better than Ethereum is. This is Solana right now, and this is this is Ethereum. So Solana is looking much better, much more bullish right now. Ethereum's having a tough time. It's not looking great. Anyway, so yeah, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow.